A director's cut is a version of a movie that reflects the director's original intentions released after the first studio version. It's what you get when the director thinks, this can be a bit better than it already is. And that's precisely what the new Audi R8 is. It's a director's cut.
Launched in 2012, this new R8 has been tweaked, poked and prodded to be better than ever before, and that's a tough job, because the first take on the R8 was truly brilliant. The V8 manual is one of the best cars I have ever driven.
The look of the original was so different at the time it stood out far enough to make much of the supercar aristocracy look a little try-hard. Its low front, massive side blades and distinctive rear were, all told, pretty brilliant.
With this second take, Audi has tweaked that. The front gets redesigned LED headlamps, the same goes for the rear lamps, and now the exhaust can come in circular, like you used to get on the hardcore R8 GT. And also, there's a new model in the lineup. It's called the R8 V10 Plus. Plus. I like the sound of plus.
In this case, plus means more hardcore, more power and more supercarness. Where the standard V10 gets 525 horses, the Plus gets 550 from its Lamborghini-derived 5.2-litre V10. That's a big number, which is great, because big numbers create very small ones.
.62 comes in just 3.5 seconds. That is a small number, and as is the MPG, but the less said about that, the better, really. Also, this thing will do 197 miles an hour, which is great if you have a runway or you live in Germany. Otherwise, if you live in the UK, like I do, it does get to 70 really rather quickly.
The Plus has been massaged under the skin as well.
The suspension in the Plus has been firmed up, which means you corner nice and flat and level, and thanks to the car's Quattro all-wheel drive system, you can take those corners just a little bit quicker than you would in other supercars. You can take them at speeds that might actually flummox or get other ones out of shape.
I feel there's something missing here though.
Call me old school, call me old fashioned, call me a moaner, whatever you want, but I do miss a manual gearbox. You can't have it on the R8 V10 Plus. And I kind of miss that because it was this open gate, click clack, it sort of added to the whole experience. It made it just that little bit more engaging. But the 7-speed S-tronic dual clutch auto in this does have its advantages. Around town it's very smooth, it's very lovely, it can make the car very quiet and actually a very comfortable cruiser. But when you press the sport button just down there, well, things get really rather noisy. So when you're going some, shall we say, and you brake, it'll surge through the gears, down, 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 make this massive V10 fart fall out of the back, scaring everything and everyone around you, which is awesome. It'll also cling onto the gears a lot longer, which is great because it means you get to hear that awesome 5.2-litre V10 growl. Then you get the acceleration, which is just unbelievable. You sear through the scenery like some kind of giant German arrow. It's unbelievable. You feel all of those 550 brake horsepower working as hard as they possibly can. And then when you do need to take some speed off, Well, the Plus does have carbon ceramic brakes as standard. Now, around town, when you're just pottering about, they can be a little bit grabby, but when you need them to work, which the speeds this thing can do, I'd imagine you definitely will, oh boy do they work. You stop pretty quickly. Allow me to demonstrate. We're going at speed. No, we're not. They're really good. The R8 is an absolutely astounding car. I absolutely love it, the way it handles, the way it feels, but there is one tiny criticism to be leveraged against it, and that's the interior. It is starting to feel just that little bit dated. I mean, all the infotainment system, for example, when it was launched in 2007 was the jazziest thing in the world, but now, well, you get far better tech on far more pedestrian Audis. And the switchgear as well is just starting to look a little bit long in the tooth. That's not to say the interior isn't without its merits. I love the fact that the driver sits in this sort of carbon fibre arc, almost as though it's like, no, this is your cockpit and this is where you're going to be having all of the fun. And it does still look good, it's just over time I don't think it'll age spectacularly well, but being an Audi, it won't ever break.
The R8's charm was its usability, and thankfully that hasn't changed. You can see out of it, it's comfortable, though less so in Plus spec than the others. There's space for things, and it looks damn good.
Audi's version of a director's cut is a wonderful thing. It's taken the original, fiddled with it, and made it just that little bit better than ever before. In 2007, when it first launched, there were murmurs that Audi was mad to be trying to take on the likes of Porsche, Ferrari and Lamborghini. Now though, well, they'd be mad to stop.